When was the last time you cried as a man?
Yeah.
Sometimes I couldn't help it but to cry and cry. Quietly,
Yeah.
and come out and pretend like all is well,
Yes.
even when all is not well.
The reason why I asked that question is because as a man, as an African man, it's been built into us not to show our vulnerability. It's been built into us that when a man cries, he's not masculine enough. I cried about 3 months ago. Obviously, I don't cry in the presence of everybody when I'm alone, and it's emotional for me. I cry. For a man, crying is okay for you. When you cry, the tears that comes out of your eyes are chemicals that helps your mental well-being, that helps the feelings of the way you're feeling, the burden that you carry in your body. Crying makes you feel better. That's why you see some women that are so emotional and they cry. Be vulnerable. Be vulnerable to say, yes, this is my weakness, this is my challenges that I'm struggling with. Being vulnerable to say, I am struggling with my mental health.
In Igbo tradition, there's a proverb. They said, if the man who is the head of the family shows a sign that he wants to cry, the entire family will cry their eyes off.
One of the challenges that we men face is the ability to be able to sit down in a space and really, open up about what we are feeling.
Good evening from here, and welcome again to this special episode of your regular Glasscast podcast. I call it special episode because we have a special guest with us. But before we go into that, I want to say a big thank you from us, the Glasscast team, to you for spending your time to engage with us, to tell us what you think about the episodes that we bring to you weekly, and to give us suggestions, for your comment, for sharing what we do, for making our podcast to go global, so that people from Australia, United States, Nigeria, Kenya, Egypt, South Africa, Netherlands, Germany, Austria could benefit from the analysis that we produce from our studio. And from all of us, we want to say a special thanks to every one of you that have made that possible. Also, if you haven't done that yet, always share our page, inform others so that they will benefit from what we do here. Because our mission is to educate, to bring insight, to bring analysis that will benefit everyone. On this note, I want to say welcome once again to Glasscast podcast. This evening, we have a guest in the house, in the person of Piro. You'll be glad to know more about this name, Piro. And we have our usual elder in the house, Elder Dr. Liam. As usual, you'll be glad you have all of us here. And from my humble self, I want to say, sit right there, relax. And like I will always remind you, if you have your glass of water, bring it close. Or if you have your bucket of popcorn, bring it even closer. If you're a man, come quite close. If you're a woman, stay around, because this topic this evening is very, very important. We are talking about men's mental health. Like I said, you'll be glad you're here this evening. But before we go into that discussion, I want to give Piro a special opportunity to say hello to our followers, our subscribers, and our viewers who would want to know more about you.
Thank you very much, the Glasscast team. My name is Piro, aka Peter Igbinoser. I'm the founder of Move Forward Movements. Move Forward movement is about empowering people, is about empowering individuals, is about social cohesion, bringing people together. And most importantly, is about letting men understand the issue of mental health and their capability. I'm so glad to be here in this platform with Gladcast to share my understanding in regarding the issue of mental health, which is becoming an epidemic. We are going to be diving into a lot of specific area. So to the Glasscast team, I want to say thank you very much for having me here today.
Well, you could agree with me that it's going to be an explosive session, and I believe Oscar here would would agree to the same.
Yeah, obviously. First of all, I want to thank our viewers, followers, and subscribers, because in the last episode we've been telling them if there's any topic you want us to talk about, please put it in the comment section. And I think this has come as a result of that popular demand by our viewers that we need to talk about mental health, which is a very, very fundamental area. So I thank you, our viewers, and I will be asking questions, I'll be contributing, and I'll be learning as well. The issue of mental health is very, 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 very fundamental. I checked up something. In the whole world, there is no country that the men have a higher life expectancy. None. Women usually have higher life expectancy. And one of the reasons that contribute to men dying earlier than their wives is undiagnosed mental health.
Yes.
Which is very, very fundamental to what we'll be talking about today. And I would probably defer to our guest today, who will be taking us through,
yes,
through that.
Yeah, so you would be glad you are here. And like I said, if you're a man, you have to feel proud to be with us this evening, because I can assure you it's man-to-man talk. So pay attention to some of the things we are saying. Like Dr. Onliam here have clearly indicated, mental health is one of the major causes of death in men, especially men under the age of 50. Yeah. Mental health is the largest cause of that. In fact, I was checking statistics because we are here in the UK. If you look at the UK, we have in terms of depression, suicide, and all these conditions, men, out of 100%, men constitute 74% of people that, the cause of death is through suicide, which is a symptom of mental health. And what it tells you is that the men in the UK are more likely to die through suicide, through anxiety, through depression, than even through accident or other major diseases like cancer, like diabetes, like every other diseases that are, in most extreme cases, more terminal than others. Suicide has high prevalence of destroying the life of men than every other person in the society, especially men under 50. So that is why it will interest you to be with us this evening and let us look at this topic in toto. So
let me yes. You mentioned you are the I not that you mentioned, I'm aware, and I'm also part of it. You are the founder and the leader of Moving Forward movement, MFM. Yeah. So could you please help us and talk viewers through what you do through this organization?
Thank you very much. Basically, Move Forward movement is about social cohesion. The reason why we started Move Forward movement was simply because, just a quick story. During the pandemic in 2019, for me as an individual, it was a very challenging time for me. As most people will probably know, there was isolation in the United Kingdom and other part of the world. And before that time, I was going through a challenging time in my marriage. My job was a stake. My anxiety was all over the roof. There was depression, money issue. And I was wondering, what am I feeling? Coming from Africa, a lot of people that are in any part of the world now might probably not even know the word mental health, because it has never been shared with them. So when I was going through that period, I kind of like, what am I going to do now? I couldn't sleep. I was stressed all the time, worried about money, worried about my marriage. My health was deteriorating right before my eyes. There are two things that could have happened. As a man, I probably would have gone into drugs and alcohol and be drinking, or I could probably would have gone through the other side. I choose the other side. I choose the other side because as an individual, I had the passion of wanting to help, of wanting to support, I wanted to give back to my community. And then one day, I picked up my phone because I've had enough. I was ashamed because as an African man, if your marriage is failing, you're losing your job, you're unable to provide for yourself, you feel ashamed to wanting to share that with your peers. You feel ashamed that you failed as a human being. That was a lot of things that was going through my mind at that time. What did I do? I took a leap of faith. I took my phone out. I shared my story that I was tired of pretense. I was tired of hiding about the fact that I was suffering from mental health. I was suffering due to the things that was happening in my head. I brought out my phone, and the first video that I did was, your life is yours. Your life is yours. You can either take control on the positive side or you take control on the negative side. I choose the positive side. I started reading books, started attending seminars, started going to listening to positive podcasts. So I then got to understand that there are three main things that can define an individual direction about life. Number one, the environment, the people that you surround yourself with. Number two, what you listen to. What are you feeding your mind? What are you listening to? And number three, what you see. All of those things started making me to understand that I can actually build myself to become the man I want to become, to be of service, not only to myself, to my community. And to cut the long story short, I was in my living room in 2022. My daughter was there with me, and I was saying to my daughter, I really want to help more people. When I posted my first video, family and friends were checking on me. Are you okay? What is wrong? And everything. I said, yes, I'm fine. This is my authentic story. I'm tired of living a lie. This is what I'm struggling with. I am struggling with my mental health. And my daughter said, Dad, if you want to start an organization to help people, what are you thinking about calling it? I said, let's call it Move Forward Movement. It is a movement, not just for me, for every man, for every human being that is going through the challenges of mental health, to be able to have the voice to speak to somebody. So we brought the mental health together, brought people within the community. I provided food and hospitality. The first event I ever created was in June 2022 with my own fund, because I wanted to give back to the community. I brought people together. My friends came, everybody came. And when they came, they asked me, Peter, how did you manage to put all of this together? I said, because I want to give back to the community. And they told me there is a way you can get some support, you can get some help. And then they introduced me to some other organization. I got some support and I started creating that. By doing that, we created a football team. Our football team now, we have about 120 men that comes out, that is in our football group. And that football group is about empowering our men. It's about engaging with our men to empower each other. Not only about physical sports, because when we play football, we have an opportunity to connect with each other, to share common goal, to empower each other, and to build connections as individuals. That is what our football team creates in Move Forward Movement. And another side that we also do, we run workshops whereby we help people that are looking for opportunity for jobs, to wanting to improve their career, to develop themselves. And we also have another aspect whereby we go to prisons, people that are getting released from prison. We reintegrate them into the community, so that they don't reoffend again and then go back to prison. So Move Forward Movement is an organization that is about social cohesion, is about helping individuals that are struggling with their mental health, whatever areas of their life they want to move forward. That is why it's Move Forward Movement.
Wow, that is why it is Move Forward Movement. And if you're a man listening to us this evening, you would agree with us, no matter the situation, no matter the condition that you find yourself into, moving forward is important. There is no backward movement, forward ever. And it brings me to something you said. Family started checking on you because you opened up the situation. And one of the pressures that men face in today's society is men want to conform with the masculine societal values, which make them to hide their feelings, which make them to hide how they see situations, and they are muzzling those conditions internally, thereby destroying their mental and physical health, as the case may be. What do you think in this area, these family values and how the society see the position of the man?
Wow. Yes, that's a very important question. One of the things, before I answer that question, I want to ask, when was the last time, even the people behind the camera, when was the last time you cried? As a man, when was the last time you cried?
This question is also
for the viewers. Yes, for the viewers as a man. As a man, when was the last time you cried as a man?
I'll go first. The last time I cried as a man was in 2018. That was when my mom died.
That's like 7 years ago.
Yes.
7 years ago.
Yes.
Good. Any other person?
If you ask me, I think that was the same time I cried. I think it was that was not the same time, but the same condition.
Okay.
And that was about maybe 9 years ago.
Okay.
That I cried, but it doesn't during the pandemic. Like when you're talking about the pandemic, I was in situation because I was a PhD student. I have children, and I experienced certain challenges, and sometimes I couldn't help it but to cry. But I didn't cry where my children are or where my family. I will go and hide in the bedroom
and cry
and cover myself with the blankets and cry. Quietly, and come out and pretend like all is well, even when all is not well.
The reason why I asked that question is because as an African man, it's been built into us not to show our vulnerability. It's been built into us that when a man cries, he's not masculine enough. I cried about 3 months ago. I cried 3 months ago, and that's the honest truth. I cried because when I think about my mom, I miss her and I cry. When I think about some of the things that my kids do, obviously I don't cry in the presence of everybody. When I'm alone and it's emotional for me, I cry. For a man, crying is okay for you. When you feel yes.
I know some men will agree with you.
You might not agree with me.
They say a man doesn't cry. A man, the highest a man can cry is we call it Eastwood. The man doesn't cry.
That is the challenging part regarding mental health. Do you know that scientists has even proven it? When you cry, the tears that comes out of your eyes are chemicals that helps your mental well-being, that helps the feelings of the way you're feeling, the burden that you carry in your body. Crying makes you feel better. That's why you see some women that are so emotional and they cry. So to talk about the question that you asked me about masculinity in terms of our men, why they feel like they had to present this masculinity in us, is because right from when we were young, most of those things have been imbued into us. That a man has to be, macho. He doesn't have to show any sort of vulnerability. Be vulnerable is an asset. Be vulnerable to say, yes, this is my weakness. This is my challenges that I'm struggling with. Being vulnerable to say, I am struggling with my mental health. There are a lot of people, that, like I said, that are struggling, as you and I are talking right now around this area regarding their mental health. They don't have the confidence. They don't want to be vulnerable enough to be able to sit down with their wife and say to their wife, hey, this is the challenges that I'm feeling in my head.
See, I still do not want to, from my cultural perspective, which I know is affecting a lot of us immigrants here.
Yeah.
In Igbo tradition, there's a proverb. They said, if the man who is the head of the family shows a sign that he wants to cry, the entire family will cry their eyes off.
Yes, that is the cultural perspective.
That's the cultural perspective, and I know you would have experienced that. Do you have experience examples of people, migrants, Nigerians, or other ethnic nationalities, maybe even from Ghana, West African countries, blacks generally, who come here and still have this cultural burden on them not to express this vulnerability?
Absolutely. There are a lot of men that are going through that right now. A simple example of one of the people that we play football with, is married to someone from this country, and they were having a conversation saying to their wife and saying, "Oh man, I'm really struggling, I'm stressed and everything." The wife said to him, "Man up."
Man up.
Man up. The wife said to him, "Man up." And this is somebody that is trying to be vulnerable, that is trying to put this message across and saying, "I am struggling, I need somebody to talk to." One of the challenges that we men face is the ability to be able to sit down in a space and really, open up about what we are feeling. Like that example that I've just given to you, when you are trying to test somebody about the way you're feeling regarding your masculinity, trying to open up, regardless of culture or where you are from, and somebody is telling you to man up. How do you feel? That becomes another burden, because you want to hold that feelings back, which is, increasing the mental health feeling that person is feeling, which would either lead to, depression, anxiety. When that person feel like he wants to say the truth to whoever he trusts, because this person is telling his partner that, "Look, I am struggling," and this person is telling him, "Man up." It loses trust for that individual to even have somebody else to confide in, even within his household. Now, how do we break that barrier? Let's have a conversation. How do we break the barrier whereby people don't feel that they have to hold back when they want to speak to their partner, when they want to speak to somebody that they trust about their mental health?
This is a very huge issue and challenge, because when we are talking about the man, the woman telling the man, the husband or the partner, man up, is also the training the woman got. It's not like something she's learning. So it's going to be a very huge challenge, especially a black. You are married to a black, maybe a Nigerian married to a Nigerian. And that lady has been brought up with the cultural upbringing that a man should not show his vulnerability. A man would always be a man. A man should not cry. A man should, be macho and masculine enough. It's going to be like a cycle to break out from, because the man has that training. The woman you are staying with in the same house also has that training, has that cultural mentality and upbringing. What can be done, especially for us migrants?
Well, you would agree with us that this is getting interesting, and we would always want to get your perspective to this kind of discussion, because it's a critical discussion. Have you been told by, it may not be your partner, it may be your mother, it may be your sister, it may be a close relative telling you to man up? Because I remember when I was growing up, when I was growing up, if I cried as a little boy, I'll get some kind
They'll
of...
tell you are crying like a woman. Why this one that cries like a woman?
So it may not just be the minority ethnic groups. I think that is how society across Western, non-Western, every context, across religion, because when you are saying this thing, when a lady is telling you to man up, remember, like you said in the statistics, that women have higher life expectancy than the men, and like you said, that the when they cry, when they release those, then they shed tears, and it helps to also relieve them of those stress that they are passing through. And the society generally have made it impossible for the man to cry. Remember, as I've told you about growing up as a young man, because we are talking of men from 18 to 50 years old here. As a young man, if girls around you sees you crying,
Right, you are in trouble.
you cannot get a girlfriend.
Girlfriend, yes.
That's true.
You cannot get a girlfriend. You can't marry.
Yeah.
Because they see you as being weak. You are weak.
Yeah, and
So-
yeah.
Yeah, it becomes a problem.
Absolutely, and just to answer that question, to come into into that a little bit, and that is the reason why we need to talk about it.
We need
One
to
of
talk
the
about it,
main
yeah.
reasons why we're here today is to start educating ourselves and other people about the issue of mental health, about the issue of specifically our men, and how we can start educating people to understand that it is okay when your child, like a son, fell down and hit himself and hurt himself, he wants to cry, you say, no, don't cry, get it together. We are fond of doing that because we're trying to raise men. It is okay for the child to cry because that is the way he's feeling. He's expressing himself. And when that child grows up, that child begins to understand the word empathy. He begins to understand the word vulnerability. So to kind of come into the space of educating our people that men don't cry, it is okay to cry as a man. There are somebody, if you're watching this video, there is somebody in your life that you've missed dearly. There is someone that you care so much about. There are incidents that have happened to you that you're uncomfortable with. You need to look for somebody that you trust. Have that conversation with that somebody. And that could just be your starting point of breaking that cycle of the mental health challenges that you are facing in your life. So coming back to the issue of educating ourselves regarding mental health and crime, how do we start? How do we start about that vulnerability? Human beings, we all have human emotions.
Exactly.
And that was the reason why I asked the last question, when was the last time somebody cries? There are things that have happened in your life that when you revisit that moment, it will trigger your emotion. And that emotion triggered your vulnerability. And that vulnerability expresses the way you feel. And the way you feel can either make you get upset, emotional, or it potentially can lead to crime. Now, talking about how do we begin to educate people about that, we need to start having open conversation. Like the room that we are sitting down in just now. Some people can never even remember the last time they actually say to their wife and say to their wife, babes, today at work was a little bit stressful. And just sit down and just talk. Because having a conversation is therapy. Every time you speak to somebody genuinely is therapy about what you're concerned about how you feel. It is a therapy that uplifts the spirit, that helps the mind to talk about issues that an individual is having challenges with, that can improve their mental well-being. And if it's something that is really, really challenging, seek support. And that is the reason why we created Move Forward Movement football team. Is a space where men can come together once every week. We play football, we connect together, we have a laugh, we talk. That is all part of breaking the cycle of mental health and improving our physical and mental well-being.
Yeah, Peter, let me ask you this.
Yes.
You know where we're coming from. We have more social activities.
Yeah.
We have sunshine.
Yeah.
We have all this coming together spontaneously. We don't have to schedule it. It's going to be by 9 p.m. or 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Do you think the society we live in is also playing a major contributory role in the mental health of migrants, or even the owners of the country? Let me use that word, the owners of the country. I mean the real
The British
white
or the UK
British
or
people, the environment, the society, the individualistic nature of this society.
Yeah.
Does that have a serious impact compared to where we are coming from in terms of mental health?
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. When you look at it in two different areas, you know, number one, we came from a society where there's a lot of sunshine, there's a lot of engagement. You can go and speak to your friend anytime. Over here, due to the way the system is built, you go to work, you come back, you go to work, you come back. It's like a revolving cycle. It's a routine. That is all we do because we are trying to put food at the table for our family. People back home are relying on us. People that are going through other situations in their life regarding their stays and things like that. That obviously affects people's mental health. Because if you don't engage with anybody, a lot of people are in the kid migrants. All they do is work 60 hours a week.
Make the pound.
Yes.
And ignore their health.
Yes, and ignore their health. Work 60 hours a week constantly, and then the next thing they tell you, oh, he's not feeling very well. I had a friend that I've known for quite some time. I spoke to him about 2-3 months ago, and he phoned me from out of a blue moon. He was in the hospital, and I asked him, bro, how are you doing? He said, I'm in the hospital. I said, what happened? He said, I was just driving to work and I started feeling this sharp pain in my heart, and I was sweating and everything, and I had to drive myself to the hospital. He was in the hospital for 2 weeks because of high blood pressure, because he can't even remember the last time he went to visit a GP for an MOT to check his health about how he's feeling. Because
people take it to the extreme, chase that money too much. But again, what I have also discovered in these countries that it's become, would I say, something that people cash on, my mental health. If you have a discussion, you call a customer service now and try to get your problem resolved. He will tell you, the way you are pressuring me is affecting my mental health.
Yes.
You go to work. If somebody makes a complaint, next thing he's going to tell you is affecting my mental health. Go to any place. You cannot meet 5-3 people, even just disagree on a policy issue or on any ideology. He will tell you that what you're saying is affecting my mental health. And I also believe that they are driving it too far away.
Okay.
In this society, to be honest, I'm not trying to play it down. It's real.
It exists.
It exists.
Yeah.
But then I also do think, I have the feeling that it's being pushed too far. I have a friend who works in the healthcare. People go out of their way to get to their GP to get diagnosis of anxiety and depression. So to me, it's difficult balancing this in knowing when we have pushed it too far and when we are being too soft on this issue
it is difficult getting it right because it is mental health. I'm trying to relate to what Oscar you're saying here. I was listening to the BBC, I think yesterday or 2 days ago. Government is trying to streamline how mental health diagnosis is done. They are trying to separate stress from mental health. But it's quite fluid an area, because when you look at it, mental health issue is something that is hidden. There, we have seen situations where people were complaining about their mental health and nobody believed them.
Yes.
And they went on to have depression, they went on to have anxiety, they went on to have suicidal thoughts, and they even went ahead to take their own life. So it's difficult to say this is the measure because it's not something that is seen.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to respond to that.
Absolutely. Mental health, in terms of what Oscar is saying, some people can exacerbate it in terms of taking advantage of it. But at the same time, because it's a silent killer, it's very difficult to be able to put your hands in it. Now, I want you to take an example of where you've worked in an environment before. You think you're doing your job properly. Your manager keeps pulling you to the office and saying you're not doing this job right. It tells you, send you on a disciplinary. Every time you come to work, your colleague is discriminating against you. Things are not working right the way it should be working for you. Maybe that person comes home as a wife or as a husband. They come and tell you, my manager is doing this to me. My manager is doing that to me. That individual is actually suffering from stress. That stress can then lead to their mental health. That mental health can then lead to anxiety, which means whenever they see the manager, whenever they're going into their place of work, it becomes a challenging thing for them. that person might not even acknowledge that they are suffering from mental health.
Yeah,
Let me sorry. They might not even identify. They might not even know that they are suffering from mental health, and before you know it, that person start feeling sick. The mental health could become a physical thing. They're feeling back pain. They're feeling headache. They're feeling restless. They don't want to go anywhere. They're just inside the house. These are all the signs that becomes part of the things that is a mental health issue for an individual. So if you know somebody that is going through that thing, that is complaining about their job, complaining about their back, complaining that they are stressed, tell them to talk to somebody. Now, regarding the issue of exacerbating it, we know that there are some people that can make the system, that can take advantages of the fact that they are suffering from mental health. But that does not deter that we should ignore it. Because what eventually happens is, if that person is not listened to, if that person is not heard, what eventually happens is that person could end up, the worst scenario, could end up taking their own life. Just because one individual thought they were, at it. They were not suffering. They were just saying that they were suffering.
Yeah, I know Oscar wanted to say something, but I think I tend to agree with you before I'll go to Oscar.
Yeah.
Instead of finding a way to curtail how people are being diagnosed for their mental health, actually, I think it should be declared a pandemic. Because the issue of mental health, you've said the worst case scenario of people taking their own life, and we have reeled out the statistics here. In the Western countries, the Western countries we are talking about is because they keep statistics.
Yeah.
While growing up in Nigeria, I've seen and I've heard a lot of people take their own life, and you begin to imagine, we didn't think of it as mental health crisis. We would only say, oh, that person he was possessed, evil spirit, evil this and all that. But that person is actually suffering from mental health. So I think it should be declared a pandemic, because today we are talking about, the worst case scenario, people taking their life. I have seen studies that link men's mental health issue to domestic violence.
Yes.
And domestic violence, is a big issue in many societies today. And one of the major causes, because if you look at the statistics, the men are usually the men, what do you call it, the conspirators or the men actors when it comes to domestic violence, based on statistics. And we've seen studies that link the issue of mental health as the cause of this situation.
I think do not quote me out of context. Okay. I don't want to kill I do not want to kill the wrath of our viewers. Let me keep the thing straight. You remember at the beginning I acknowledged the issue of mental health and even mentioned that is one of the causes of early death in men.
Yes.
That is why in the whole world there is no way men have a higher life expectancy, and it's part of the reason. So I acknowledge that fact is real, so I don't want put out the wrong information out there. But what I'm saying is that there are instances where we push these things to the extreme. We need to find the balance and check that. Do not ignore a real problem, and do not create one where none exists.
Yes,
that's my position on that. I've clarified.
Okay.
That.
Well, that will take me to the next question, because we are talking about the individual here. You have to speak out. You have to speak out. There are people that are not able to speak out, and you made mention of this society. We are in the era of social media. People are so isolated because of social media. Because with social media, you can do virtually everything on your own. Even currently with AI, you can even have a girlfriend. You can have a AI girlfriend. So it's kind of isolates people that much, and it makes it difficult for family to understand very well what a member of the family is passing through. And like in the case of a spouse telling the husband or the partner to man up, or mother or sister, we've seen this situation where families are doing this, even when the families are supposed to be expressing concerns? What are the kind of signs that as a family member you'll be looking out for? And what, when you see these signs, what as a family member are you supposed to do to support this person to get the right help that they require?
Thank you. Yes. One of the things that an individual should be looking out for is change of behavior. You know, you talk about the issue of isolation. When somebody is going through a very difficult time, they can either have the confidence to be able to talk about what they're actually going through, or they completely feel withdrawn. They feel withdrawn because there is something that is deep down inside their mind that they don't want to talk about, or they're probably just complaining about stress at work, something is wrong, you know, they're telling you that this is what is wrong with them. Just listen to what they're saying. The issue of mental health could probably be the person doesn't want to go out. They just want to stay indoor. We have, especially from our ethnic minority, I have had females coming to meet me, telling me to take their husband's phone number for them to come and join our football team, because they are worried about their husband feeling isolated, being in the house. Those are the things that can creep into, you know, mental health issues and mental challenges. When you have somebody that is like that, you need to encourage them to join a community. Join a community. We encourage you. Move Forward Movement is in East Kilbride in Scotland, or whatever part that you are in the world. Find a community. Find something that you enjoy and be part of that community. Another sign that you should also look for is somebody that you know that doesn't take drugs, that doesn't smoke, that doesn't drink. Of a sudden, you begin to see them consuming excessive alcohol or excessive substance that they're using. Why are they doing that? Because there is something that is happening deep down inside them, that they are using that substance to numb. That is when you need to have that conversation. Then they need to speak to somebody, a specialist, a mental health consultant, a doctor, or a nurse. Have that conversation with them and say, what is going on? Let them build that confidence with you so that they can be able to trust you, that they'll be able to tell you what they are going through. So in summary, somebody is feeling that they don't want to go outside, they feel isolated, they feel like they don't want to eat any food, they feel like they don't want to talk to anybody. Those are signs of challenges that the person is having, issue of mental health. Another sign is when somebody is beginning to use excessive substance, like drinking excessively. Every day they want to have a drink. Every day they want to have an alcohol. They don't want to go outside. When you're talking to them, they're not listening. These are signs that there is something happening with this person and they need support.
They need support.
You said something. Let me take on from the issue of social media. Do you think the issue of social media plays a contributory role in aggravating mental health? Because when you scroll through all the social media, the society, we like to compare ourselves.
Yeah.
People live false life and fake life.
Yeah.
People posting beautiful holidays they've gone to when they are still in their room. Posting wonderful cars. In fact, one of my friend's wife, they went to, the car had issue. He sent the car to the garage and they gave her a courtesy car, a BMW. He went and took a picture with the car and posted it on Facebook. The other friend, the wife, almost carried gun and they have to buy a BMW car. And this woman has bought to her.
I know.
So it was when they now made further inquiry that they discovered that it was a courtesy car given to them because the other car was in the garage.
Yeah.
So that's an aside. Do you think that this issue of the social media era, fake life, fake private
Images,
life, holiday and images and so on contribute to people pushing themselves beyond the limits and creating this crisis for themselves?
Yes, absolutely. And that's the reason why it's so important for human engagement, the physical human engagement. You know, like the way we are sitting down now, the physical human engagement is so important, because when you're scrolling online, what eventually happens to the brain is taking away your dopamine. And then you notice after some time, the person doesn't feel as, you know, good as they used to feel, rather than going outside and speaking to a human being one-on-one. And also another pressure that the social media puts on people's mental well-being is the father. When you're so used to seeing some certain things, you want to be like the Joneses, just like the example you just made. If you see somebody 2 doors down from where you stay now, they bought a very nice car, a Range Rover or something, you're thinking, wow, maybe you have a partner that does not really understand. Why can't we buy the same kind of car that those people are buying? Because that is where the comparison comes. If you see something like that on social media, you want to live to that expectation, not understanding that those are the things that they want you to see. So being able to have that understanding to differentiate the digital world and the physical world is so important. And that is the reason why whoever is watching this podcast should understand that your life is yours. There is no comparison with anybody. Whatever you're seeing online is a pretense of what that individual wants you to see. But you have to choose what actually serves you and suits your mental well-being. Another thing I also want to talk about, and we talked about the issue of social media and isolation earlier on. Finding a safe space. Finding a safe space for yourself. In whatever area that you are, what is that thing that you enjoy doing other than staying indoor and scrolling on social media? Going to book club, joining a walking group, joining a Toastmaster, joining a running club, finding a safe space. These are all the things that improve your mental well-being as a human being.
Let me go, please.
Go for it.
Yeah. I know we Nigerians, we are very, very religious.
Yes.
And we mentioned a lot of things that can help us and help our mental being.
Yeah.
I suppose you are a Christian.
Yes, I'm a Christian.
Okay,
yes.
you're a Christian. Probably from your name, I would presume.
Yes, I'm a Christian.
So I don't presume anything in this era now.
Yeah.
So you have confirmed that you're a Christian. What do you think is the place of faith and religion in terms of helping men's mental health?
Wow. I think, I believe that for me, I'm a Christian. I'll say that very clear. Without God, I am nothing. In whatever each an individual believes in is to their own. Whatever challenges that an individual is facing regarding their mental health, their mental well-being, is about, number one, understanding what you're really feeling. If God or whatever you believe in comes into that space, accept it. But let the positive aspects of, be it your religion, be it whatever you believe in, dominate whatever challenges that you are facing. So religion has a massive part to play, in the sense that there are some people in Africa up to these days that they believe that when somebody has a mental health issue, or maybe the person is going crazy, they believe if they take the person to church, the person can be healed. Yes, it still happens right this very moment.
Yeah.
So, but that is not the solution to the problem.
Well, when you are talking about religion, it's a topic area that I wouldn't want to comment so much on.
Yeah.
But because we are talking of mental health here,
Yeah.
and because we were taking the perspective of the Western context,
Yeah.
if you come to religion in non-Western context, I can tell you in Nigeria, people have mental health issues. They are taken to churches,
Yes.
where they don't just handcuff them, they tie them.
Yeah.
They say that it's evil spirit that is
It's worrying them.
They will tie them. I've seen people. I'm not saying I was told. I have seen people chained to a pillar.
Yeah.
And they have been there for years because they want to cure them of the spiritual problem that is causing a mental health problem. So, in terms of religion in this area, religion have done much damages in supporting men and the women who suffer mental health problems. Do you know when I was growing up in Nigeria?
Dr. Eze, do you believe in miracle?
That is the miracle I'm talking about. I'm talking about miracle. I have seen people who have mental health issues.
Yeah.
They were shamed together. They were keep giving something to start playing music to go and collect money.
Is it the church that sent them?
They are coming from religious places, and apart from those ones that are taken to the marketplace to make money for these people, I have seen. I didn't say I was told. I have seen in churches.
Yes.
Churches, people were ashamed. I'm not talking of handcuffs. They were ashamed to a pillar. You need to see the inhuman treatment that people were given to. And at the end of the day, those people don't get better.
Dr. Eze,
Because they are not providing solutions to their problem.
Dr. Eze, you are using a flawed country, a flawed system for your analysis.
Most of our viewers
Let-
here are from Nigeria, are from Ghana, are from Kenya. You know, they do a lot of diabolical things
Yeah.
in the name of religion
Because
to
they
cure
do it,
mental
because they
health.
do it. That's not what the Bible tells them to do.
You are bringing the Bible.
Yeah,
now.
I'm a Christian. I should bring the Bible.
Yes.
So what
So
do you need to bring?
are you saying that those churches where people are shamed to a tree, that those prophets, those pastors, they don't know the Bible? You know the Bible more than they
There are
do.
so many fake pastors in Nigeria. You and agree? You are not.
That is why I say religious area. I like to avoid it because they have done more damages to people's mental health than any
solution. Yes.
You have to qualify it. Fake religious practices.
Well,
Yes.
I don't have
Qualify it.
I don't have to. I don't have evidence to prove that those prophets are fake.
Yes.
Well, by the Bible says, by their fruits we shall know them. That's what the Bible
Yes.
says. By their fruits we shall know them.
Even you are quoting the Bible here,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you what I'm saying. You are from Nigeria, you are from Ghana, you are from South Africa. You are these
Let me tell-
religious practices.
basic.
It's not only Christians, even the Muslims, even traditional practices. The way they support people, they damage people's life instead of giving them the right
support.
support for them to come back to their normal life. And I think instead of talking about religion, Christianity, Islam, traditional religion, and all that, I think we should be talking about education. People
Yes.
should know better.
Absolutely, and that was the thing that I was going to talk about in terms of, you know, when religion comes into the aspect of finding solution to mental health. Religion can be a personal perspective for that organization, that country, but the key source is to educate people, to educate those leaders, the religious leaders, to educate them that miracle does not just happen. Miracle happen when God does things, but there has to be the physical aspect. The work has to be done. Treatment has to be given. Education has to be given to people that provide support for people that needs mental health. So how do we do that? By having this conversation.
Having this conversation
How do
and
we
educating
divide-
people.
and
I
educating
try
people,
to disagree
yes.
with
Yes.
I'm
everybody
always
here.
disagreeing with you on this podcast.
People
on
have
everything.
also have issues.
Yes.
Have we ever
They
agreed on
were
the
taken
point?
to sorry to say this. There are some places you go to, they bring pigeon and they bring
I don't know
fowl
what you're talking about.
and
though.
they start flogging the person to get better.
That is inhumane. That is human
And
torture.
that is what we see.
And that is unacceptable on any planet on earth,
Yeah, and
regardless of what that individual is.
And it still happens today. We are not seeing it in this part of the world,
Yeah.
but I bet you go to many places in Africa, you will see these things happening. People are
Doctor, that it is happening there does not make it the right thing.
people need to be educated.
Yes,
Yes,
people need to be
that's-
educated, but for you to give a blanket condemnation about Christianity or other religion because you see people who are practicing it the wrong way is what I do not agree with. Yeah, I go to a church. I know what my pastor preaches. I've been to different churches. I know what they preach. Even the Bible, when I read it, I read it and I understand what it preaches in terms of taking care of yourself, taking care of your well-being, taking care of your mental health. It doesn't say you should change the person, flog the person, and flog the demon out of the person. Nowhere.
Have you not seen people being
I have
flogged?
seen it, but that's
Have
not
you
the right
not
practice.
seen people being shamed? I'm telling you, they are shamed to the point you see the mark. You see
yeah.
the mark of the shame on their legs.
Yeah, because they've been there for quite some time.
You know, and And these are human beings.
I condemn it entirely, and is abuse of their fundamental rights as
And
well.
these are churches and mosques and religious places, traditional religions. No, I'm not,
But
saying
then
about,
let's not go too far away.
Oh,
Let's
yes,
allow our.
I will.
Yes,
I will give way. I will give way.
I can see how passionate you are.
Thank you.
Just make your point on the issue of educating and.
Yes, regarding the issue of educating people about mental health, it all starts with having a conversation about the challenges that you're facing. It could be from your work, it could be from your relationship, it could be from the thoughts that you're having in your head, it could be anything. What I will encourage you to do is find a community to belong to. Find your own community. Anything that is of interest to you, find that community and start speaking to somebody. Because when you speak to somebody, it's therapy for you. It's a way of tackling the issue of isolation. It's a way of tackling the issue of depression. It's a way of tackling the issue of anxiety. So there's a lot of the challenges that most of our men face in this country. And also, like I mentioned earlier on about my friend that was working so many hours without having the space for themselves. I want you to think, if you are in the diaspora and you're doing 60 to 70 hours a week, think about it. When there is health, that is when you have life. And when you don't have life, the money that you're making, there is no point of even making that money. The Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, about 3 weeks ago, he launched a new program which is called Men's Mental Health. In the United Kingdom, they've identified that men are suffering. And that is the reason why it's a topic that we'll continue to talk about. And obviously, it's going to continue to grow because with technology evolving, we are so busy. People are so busy with so many things happening in their life, and that is affecting their mental health. How do you find a solution in the midst of those chaos? By finding a safe space. Go and find yourself a community, find a brotherhood, find friends that you can relate to, find your passion, and begin to find a space where you can have a healthy conversation.
Please,
with people.
one more question before this will be my last. I think we're running out of time.
Go for
Yes.
it. Yeah.
A problem of this magnitude should not be left to men alone. You've given an example, find safe space, join communities, speak out, talk to somebody, take therapy. But do you think that incorporating even the women, even as young as we are talking of men 18 to 50, incorporating women in this discussion, in this interaction, to understand that, men are not superhuman, so they have emotions, they have blood and water running through them. They are also vulnerable. Do you think it's a possibility or something that could help? Because you also gave an example of a man whom the wife told to man up. If the wife had had that training or understanding from the onset that sometimes a man could be vulnerable, do you think that could be of any help? Because even the women's problem, men are brought in to help and also encourage them.
To answer that question, I think it's very important. This is conversation about mental health is not just for men alone. It's everybody's issue. Everybody suffers from it. To just having the ability to talk to anybody about it makes a lot of difference. And this also goes to our men. When our wife is telling us the challenges that we're facing, it's important for us to listen to them, to be able to build that confidence and that trust and have a conversation with them about their mental health. That is why with Move Forward Movement, in what we do, we run workshops. The workshop we run the last time was Better Together. It's about bringing everybody together, men, women, and all the other people that are experts in this field to help people that are having the challenges of mental health. If your wife comes back from work and tell you, my manager did this, my manager did that, a lot of us, we don't really give our partner just 1 or 2 minutes for us to sit down, for them to tell us what they're actually going through. Let's listen to them. The same goes for the woman as well. When your husband comes back from work and telling you these challenges they're facing, give them 2 or 3 minutes. Listen to what they're saying, because that is their way of therapy. That is their way of offloading their burden that they are going through, and that improves their mental health. For the women, for women, if you are having issue regarding stress, depression, and things like that, find a community. Find a mentor. Speak to somebody. A lot of women, we talked about the issue of domestic abuse earlier on. Mental health is what leads to domestic abuse for men. When a man is the one paying the bills, when the man is the one going to work all the time, when the man is feeling like the woman is not respecting him, and a lot of things that he's doing in the house is not being appreciated, the man begins to feel that he's carrying so much burden. It begins to become aggressive towards the wife. And then before you know it, there's a lot of things that is happening in the home. Financial abuse start taking place. Physical abuse start taking place. A lot of abuse start taking place. All starts from the state of that man, their mental health, based on things that wasn't put in place. So it's important for both parties to continue to have conversations regarding any topic: your finance, your relationship, your intimacy, your children. And what is also important, I wanted to quickly share about this. If you have, you're in the United Kingdom or whatever part you might be in the world, if you have a family that somewhere that have got kids as well, create that community cohesion. Let your children interact with other children that have good, examples to you. Bond with them. Because when you bond with more families, you are creating that social engagement, that human interaction, because we as human beings, we are social animals. And that helps the whole entire family to build that kind of stable, safe space in engaging and then improving their mental well-being.
Improving their mental well-being, and it's important we are creating this awareness today. And I believe you may have picked up 1 or 2 points, even though we get passionate about some aspect of the discussions earlier, but it tells the story. It tells how important this discussion is. And to you, young man out there, take opportunity to look after yourself. And for you, members of the family, take opportunity, like Piero said here, look after yourselves. Look after your siblings, your spouse, your extended family. Check on them. It's very, very important. And to make it more memorable, I would say the World Health System have introduced a day for Mental Health Awareness Day. I think it's on the 10th of October.
Yes, World Mental Health Day. Yes.
So I was wondering, what your organization is doing on those days, and the level of information you put out there for the benefit of the people using that particular Mental Health Awareness Day.
Thank you very much for that. Yes, Move Forward Movement on World Mental Health Day, what we do, we bring people together. We believe that social cohesion is very important. We give them information on how they can improve their mental health. We give out flyers on where they can get support regarding their mental health. And also, we encourage people to obviously speak to their friends and family in terms of improving their mental well-being. That is what Move Forward Movement is about, and we will continue to do that. We are about, building confidence, building resilience, and most importantly, improving your mental well-being.
Improving your mental health well-being. I don't know if there is something doc here I want to say before we wrap up.
I think Piero has said it all. I have nothing to add again. Do whatever you can to improve your mental health. Thank you so much.
Do whatever you can do to improve your mental health. And it has been a wonderful session with you. And I believe you have 1 or 2 things to point to us. Always go to our comment section. We keep it open so that you can send in your comment, your suggestions. Our email is on our website, on our pages. Go there, send us an email. We respond. We pick up these information. And if we need to bring back Piro to the studio, Piro, I believe you will
Yes,
give us that opportunity to speak with you again. And
Yes.
if you are around the United Kingdom, if you are around Scotland, if you are around Glasgow, if you are around East Kilbride, make out time as a man, reach out and to this important foundation, to this important movement, and I believe you'll be glad you do. You know, we are talking about mental health here. We didn't talk about some of other things
We
you
do,
do
yes.
within the foundation, like sports activities and
The
all
football.
that. And I believe we would have more time
To talk about that.
To talk about that. And on this note, I want to say a very big thank you to every one of us this evening.
Again, my name is Piro, aka Peter from Move Forward Movement. We're all about living people, mental well-being, improving. And to the Glasscast team, thank you very much, guys, for having me. It's been a pleasure here today. Thank you.
It's our pleasure to have you today, and it's our pleasure to have you there. And I believe you have learned something today. Let's keep it going. Next week, next conversation, we keep bringing you important episode that will educate, that will stimulate further discussions. Thank you for being with us, and see you in the next episode. Bye-bye
Thank
for
you.
now.
Bye-bye.